What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on Buysellcars TV. I just picked up a cheap Honda CR-V from British car auctions, fully loaded too with all the options, but it is in need of some TLC. And in today's video, I'm going to see how much profit I can make by tidying up this 14-year-old high mileage Honda CR-V. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's get into the video. Right, so let me give you a walk around off the Honda CR-V, which I picked up a couple of days ago from the car auction. It does need a bit of work doing. It is dirty. It's in the current state that I got it from the auction. So let's give you that walk around off the car to show you where we stand at the moment. Overall, looking at the body, it's actually in pretty good condition. The paintwork could do with a little bit of polish, especially at these values, because this car is a bit different to my usual stock. It's worth a bit more money. And if this car was polished, it would look a lot more presentable. So that is something which I do want to start potentially doing on the cars which are of more value. But going around the back as well, you can see condition wise it is pretty good. It's a nice spec car, so I believe this is the EX model, so very nice spec. You've got pan roof, parking sensors, sat nav, leather interior. It's a lot better than just your standard Honda CR-V, so hopefully this will be a good seller. But exterior wise, you can see it is looking pretty nice. I do like the color as well. Black Honda CR-V does look quite nice. And also they represent a lot of good value for money. It's one of the cars you see quite a lot on the road. And when you do reg check these cars, you do see a lot of them are on the higher side of the mileage. Now this car has done 129,000 miles, I'm going to say. So it has done a little bit of mileage, but it's a 2010 car. We're going to get inside. Let me show you the interior. We'll take it for a drive and we'll get into all those details. Now, interior wise, the car does need a bit of a clean, and it does smell like it's probably had some sort of, dog or something in here. So it does need to be deep cleaned, especially right now with the sun shining all over the car. You can see all of the parts of the car where there is a lot of dirt. The one thing which I do really like about this car is the leather seats. They are very comfortable. They are also heated, so it's a nice thing to have on a practical car like this, but definitely needs to go down to the valeters. It is a car which has been used. Panoramic roof up there as well. Now this is fixed, obviously it's a sunny day, so that is closed at the moment, but they just slide back and then you've got a fixed panoramic roof on the front and the rear. Nice little thing to have on the car. Let me show you the rears as well. Now here you can see it's definitely had probably a dog over in the back, because it's very messy. I don't think that mess would have come from children potentially sitting in the car. However, it's not a big concern. Very easy to clean leather seats, so not a big concern. We're going to get it dropped off to the valeters at some point to make their work their magic. But that gives you a nice overall idea of how the interior is looking, how the exterior is looking, and just generally the current condition of the car. We've got good tires on there as well, so tire tread's all okay. We need to get it serviced, we need to get it MOT'd, we need to get it valeted, and anything else we'll get addressed. But let's jump in the car, let's take it for a drive, and let's see what we're working with. And we're going to get into exactly what we need to get done to this car and potentially the amount we're gonna have to spend to get this one ready for sale. So let's take it for a drive. So Honda CR-V, why did I buy a Honda CR-V, and why am I actually changing some of the stock that I'm buying now? I normally buy cheap bread and butter cars that appeal to first time buyers, cars that appeal to people who just want to buy cheap cars, entry point cars. Well, I've always said this, you always have to adapt to whatever market you're in, and at the moment it is a bit of a strange time. Car sales are a bit all over the place. There isn't really a trend at the moment, shall I say. So my cheap cars, which normally fly out, they've slowed down a little bit at the moment. That's why I'm diversifying my stock. I know this car is more expensive than the cheap stuff I sell. However, it's a very practical car. It's a family car. It's very popular. So I thought I'm going to try add a few little things to see how that goes as well with the cars that I've got for sale. So that's why I'm also buying stock like this now. But why this Honda CR-V? Well, generally, as I said, they are very popular cars. They're also very reliable cars, which is important when you are selling used cars, especially when it comes to mileage. Certain cars, certain brands don't like doing high mileage, whereas everyone knows Hondas, they don't really go wrong. There's a saying out there that German cars are engineered to go for a long time if they're serviced, whereas Hondas or Japanese cars are engineered to last regardless of servicing it. And I do believe that Hondas generally they don't die. Ask yourself this: when's the last time you saw a Honda broken down? But anyway, this specific Honda CR-V, let me tell you a bit about it. So it's done 125,000 miles. It's a 2010 car. It's got 5 owners on there. Not ideal, but it's not ridiculous at the same time. But more importantly, the car has got good service history. It's got about 10 stamps in the book, so it's there or thereabouts a full service history. It was last done in 2010 late 22, so about 10,000 miles ago, so it is due a service. That's one of the things which I'm going to have to get done to the car. It's also due an MOT very, very soon, so I'll need to get that done straight away, because can't sell a car, especially at this sort of value, with very little MOT on there. So getting it serviced, getting an MOT, those are the first things on my radar to get done to this car. Drive wise, it seems pretty good. You know, the clutch is good, it doesn't seem to be slipping. I've given it a few pulls just to make sure everything seems fine. Interior wise, as you've seen as well, it is going to need a deep clean, because it does smell a little bit funky in here. Condition wise, it's pretty good. I know the leather does look quite worn, but with the Japanese cars, that's quite the norm. When you see leather seats at this age, they do end up quite creased, but very, very comfortable. They are as expected on a car of this sort of age and mileage, but it does need a deep clean in here. So that is the thing which I'm gonna have to address after getting the work done at the mechanics, is getting it valeted. And fingers crossed, I won't need to do anything else major to this car. I know it's only early days, but we need to get the car inspected and see how things go through the MOT, but hopefully we won't. It drives fantastic. It's a lovely spec car. Like, even the pan roof, I don't know if you're gonna pick this up on the camera. It's a fixed pan roof, but it's just a nice feature to have on the car. Being the EX model, you do have all those nice luxuries, like I was saying earlier: heated seats, leathers, cruise control, sat nav, electric windows all round, parking sensors. It's even got a reverse camera. It's not that great, but it's still got it. So it's a nice spec car, and in comparison to some of the competitor cars, you do find that customers will still buy a high mileage Honda CR-V in comparison to, like, I don't know, like a Ford Cougar, for example, because people know Hondas do tend to last a lot more. So 125,000 miles on a Honda is not the same as 125,000 miles on a Ford, for example. That's just my opinion. So, like I say, plan of action is, let's get this car dropped over to the MOT garage, let them get that done first, so we know where we stand. If all is well, then we'll get the car serviced, then we'll get the car valeted, and then we're going to catch up, go through the whole transformation, show you the difference, and talk about exactly how much those things have cost to get it ready for sale, so you get an idea of what it's like to buy this car from an auction, if I run into any problems, whether I do or not, and how much those things cost me. So that's where we're going to leave it for now. We're going to head down to the garage, let them crack on with this car, and we'll catch up once we've got the car picked up from the garage. So stay tuned, and I'm going to see you in a couple of days. Okay, so I've got the car picked up now from the mechanics and from the valeters, so let me give you a quick walk around, show you the current state of how the car is looking, because it is looking much better than what we saw earlier on in the video. I haven't had a chance to give it a polish yet, because I don't actually have a DA polisher as of yet. Obviously on a black car, as I mentioned, it would look very, very nice, but even still, you can see the paintwork is looking pretty presentable in comparison to how it was before. It just goes to show, you know, a good clean on a car can make a big difference when it comes to presentation. So nothing too drastic to see on the exterior, but you get an idea of how the car is looking right now in its current state, ready for sale. But let me jump inside, show you the interior, because that's where we've had the biggest change. So going into the interior, what do you guys think compared to how it was before? The leather is definitely looking a lot more cleaner, especially down here on the floor, the carpets. Yes, I know we do have a rip in there, but they are the original CR-V mats. Again, things like the steering wheel, the dash, so all the center console is looking a lot cleaner than what it was before. I'm not saying it's perfect. It never is, because it is only a valet at your local car wash. It is not a detailer who gets into all the little nooks and crannies, but it's a lot better than how it was before. It smells more fresh. The leather is looking a lot better, and just generally, it is in much more presentable condition. Let me show you the rears. So the rears, how are we looking? much better than what it was before. I don't know if you can remember, there was a lot of stainage to the seat. You could tell there was most likely a dog or something that was in this car a lot of the times. The carpet as well down here, it is the original carpet. It is looking much better than what it was before. There are still little things I probably will give a wipe down just to take it that little bit further than what it was from the valet, but you can't always expect miracles on certain cars. But for the price I'm paying, which is £50 for getting this valet done, I'm pretty happy with the results of this car. So that gives you an idea of the interior and the exterior. So hopefully that gives you an idea of how the car is in its current state. But let's get into some of those specifics of exactly what had to get done to get this car ready for sale, because there wasn't actually a great deal of money that needed to get spent. So let's get into some of those things now. So the first thing which we got done to this car was getting it taken to the mechanics to get an MOT done. So that was the very first thing, because that gives us an idea of what we're working with, any problems this car has, because it's a full inspection really on the roadworthiness of this car. Now this car was a straight pass, but there was one advisory, which is the front brake discs are slightly pitted. It is an advisory, it's not something which needs to get done right now, but it's just an advisory, something to think about in the future with ongoing maintenance for this car. Next thing we needed to get done was getting the car serviced, because like I said, it did have good service history, but it's been about 10,000 miles I think since it was last serviced. Especially because of the value of this car, it's always good to have a fresh MOT and a service. So whoever's buying this car knows it's ready to go for at least 1 year. You shouldn't have any immediate cost involved after buying this car. So wanted to get that done as well. And also, whilst the car was out, I asked them to check something for me, because I was running into a couple of issues with the seat belt. It did work, but a lot of the times you'd go to pull it and it would be locked. And there was a time where I was trying to use it and I physically couldn't move it. So obviously there's an issue there. Even if it went for an MOT and it wasn't picked up because it worked at the time, I'm not messing about. It's important, it's a safety thing, so it had to be replaced. That was the only unexpected cost on this car. So pretty much it's been a good car. Now cost wise, how much have I spent? MOT, as we know, is £40. Service on this car was about £90. The part for the seatbelt was another £40, and then the labour for that, I'm yet to be charged, but it was about 20 minutes, so we're probably talking another £20–30 on top of the bill. And then of course, getting the car valeted, it was £50. It is a bigger car, so that is why it was £50. So that makes the total amount I've had to spend on this car £250. Now that's not that bad at all, to be honest. So getting a car from the auction and prepping it, servicing it, MOTing it, getting it retail ready for £250 in my eyes, I'm very happy with. And now let's talk about price. So price wise, where do I see this car on the market? It's a very popular car, so there are quite a lot of them on the market when you do look. Just to give you an idea of what I bidded for this car, it was £1,300 plus some fees. So I'll pop everything on the screen to give you a total cost of this car, including how much I've spent with the fees and getting it prepped. But that gives you an idea of the potential margin in this car. But retail wise, that's where we're at. Trade price, that's where we're at. So there is a good amount of margin in this car. So overall, I am happy with this purchase. Great car, a lot of value for money here, and I don't see why this car should stick around. Only thing is, it isn't a ULEZ car, so I am limiting myself with that market, but let's see how things go moving forward. But hopefully that's given you a good transparent insight into buying this car, getting it prepped, the costs involved, and what we're looking to sell this car for. So hopefully that's come through on today's video. I hope you've enjoyed the video today, guys. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on all my socials. I'll pop them on the screen right now. My TikTok, my Instagram, a lot of videos on there, a lot of content for you guys to see. So make sure you follow me up on all of those. Thank you so much again for watching, and I'm going to see you on the next one. Take care, guys.